All right, y'all. What's going on? It's AkilleezMight, and I'm joined today by a guy you might recognize. A recap of episode 6. Say what's up, man.
What's going on?
So this is like you know
opposite ends of the spectrum here. We got
hero
good
versus
and evil.
ghost right now.
Lawful good and lawful evil.
All right, man. I just kind of wanted to talk about episode 6. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings towards it. A lot of
That's an understatement.
misunderstanding, and a lot of confusion about our stance on subscribing and just the overall your strategy and everything else with the alliance and stuff, man. So first, let's talk about the challenge. We get up that morning and we get the surveys. What were you thinking when we first got the surveys and you saw the first page of questions?
I think we all knew it was going to happen. I think we all knew their strategy was to just kind of divide the group. Like when we got those surveys, I think you in the episode said it was just an opportunity to dog this guy, and I think that's what we all kind of saw it as.
We have a survey to do about everybody in the house, and the first thought I'm thinking is this is our opportunity to just dog Suskaiden.
I honestly, when I got those surveys, I kind of felt like Suskaiden would be the one going home, regardless of what the challenge was after that.
Yeah, I mean, when as we were going through it, when I first got it, I didn't really know exactly first how many questions. Secondly, how shallow or how deep the questions were going to get. But from looking at that first page, the lying, who's the liar, who's the who doesn't belong there, who's in the coattails, and I'm like, oh wow,
it was bait. It was fight bait.
It was definitely bait. So
it was fight bait. Yeah.
What I kind of want to convey and get across is that there's a silver lining to every single challenge we've had. There's definitely an underlying meaning. It's all a metaphor. Yeah. And what I think people don't understand is that this had everything to do with say us 5 were on a team together, and me, myself, you, Diddy, and Christy have been producing flawlessly. We rarely messed up.
Minus man law.
I forgive you.
Oh, man.
But, we failed to meet an objective as a team, right? But us 4 have produced something. We've given something and we've produced, except for this one member. So anytime you're on a team, if you fail, if you're smart, you're going to talk about it and discuss and see what went wrong. And if the problem lies with that one member, then of course you have to correct it. Yeah. And that's what I think a lot of people think, that we were bullying Suskaiden and just dogging her out, when really it was just, we were just saying, hey, us 4 have really produced up to this point, and, we had this one hiccup, and we need to, smooth it out. There's no personal feelings. Right. There's no hard feelings. There's no disrespect. It's just, that's what it is. And that transfers over to a business setting. If you've got a company that's failing and you've got one employee or one team member that's just not producing, they're going to get rid of you.
Right.
So, I just think a lot of people are confused, and they get blinded by the smoke and mirrors of the reality TV and stuff.
Yeah.
And see it as drama and bullying, which it wasn't meant.
And the question that I always ask people, especially when they ask me on Twitter, how I must feel like crap for betraying her like that. But at the end of the day, you have to think, and a lot of people have agreed with me when they kind of think about it. But, I mean, do you honestly see Suskaiden in, a boardroom meeting with Todd Pappy and the rest of Santa Monica? You see, Stig and Todd Pappy, and then there's Suskaiden. I see Diddy, I see you, I see Christy, I see maybe myself, but I don't know, Suskaiden,
People's gonna think I fart or something like that.
She's a great person. I think she could, honestly, when you look at Suskaiden, she can excel at so many things. But I think that the other, the 4 that are apart from her could really not only learn a lot from being in Santa Monica, but also kind of bring a lot to the table there too.
If she channels it, man, because she has passion. She has that. She's very intense. She's very vibrant, and she'd be unstoppable, man. I wouldn't be able to even touch her. During the challenge and stacking the blocks up, what was your immediate strategy? Because I was lost, dude. I knew, I'm like, I can't freaking, I break Christmas decorations when I try to put them together.
Right.
Year. I have just heavy hands, man. I can't do stuff like that.
Yeah. I haven't messed around with my Legos in so long, but I just improvised, dude. Like I said in the episode, my strategy initially was to build this really strong foundation. Because, I mean, that's what you would do if you're building something that's when you're trying to get height. Yeah. That didn't really work. I don't know. I was like, if you look at my initial build, I don't know what I was doing. I was totally just winging it.
My strategy is to build a really strong foundation.
3, 2, 1. Time!
As much as it was unfortunate to see us all kind of dog Skyden in that episode, I think, and I totally didn't say this during elimination because I was a little concerned that they'd keep her for it, but she kind of inspired a lot of us, minus Diddy, to basically take the blocks.
Take the stack, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta give her so much credit for that. I can't remember if that's what you did initially when you were building. Did you just?
No, they don't show it. Remember, what I did was initially I took one block and I leaned it up against the height thing, and then the producer was like, "Oh, you can't do that." I was like, "Shit." I was trying to think outside the box, but
I remember that. Yeah. Hey, you could always mention that. You could always talk your way out in elimination. You probably wouldn't, even if you had done so poorly, you probably wouldn't have been like at the epicenter of the judges, complaints. But even still, you can always talk your way out. And saying that was like an out of the box strategy would have worked so flawlessly. I
was like, dude, I'm gonna totally kick these guys' asses. And I'm just gonna stack one on top of the other, just one. I'm gonna have like 10 blocks. Yeah. And it's gonna be 10 feet high. And you guys are gonna be over there like, because I didn't know. I'm like, okay, are we not allowed to look at each other's builds or?
I'll be the first one to admit it. I totally copied Skyden's strategy, but what she did wrong was she just kind of like built it. She basically stacked them, but I kind of did it half. And then
you did it halfway.
You started. That's when I started. Yeah. It was basically like a hybrid of Skyden and Diddy. Yeah.
Yeah, I caught on way too late, man, because everything I tried fell over.
Stop working.
And I got to the point where I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna look around, see what everybody's doing. I'm answering the questions right. Hopefully, I can pull something out of my ass and try to do something. But everything I tried to do just fell over. I was like, fuck it. I'll just keep doing it so that at least they can't say I gave up. So.
Right.
All right, so Diddy's tower, the Tower of Babylon, dude. like watching it on the show, and on that point where he's like on his tippy toes and he's got the tube, and he's just really meticulous and really careful. I'm like, how the hell?
I don't know.
How did it not fall? It was ridiculous. Like he had to have glue on the fucking blocks, man.
Christy said it. She was like, ninja is the most appropriate term you could use when describing Diddy. Like he's he's so tall, but he's very subtle about his movements. So I get it.
I was like, you don't know he's there, and he's 2 miles in front of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous. But hats off to him, man. He kicked our asses.
Like they show it on camera. Like if you watch like the later end of that challenge and you see me at any point, I'm just sitting on the ladder, kind of hanging out, leaning on it, looking at Diddy, just waiting for it to fall over. I pretty much did the opposite of him, and what Dylan Job kind of criticized him for was just continually building. But I just totally stopped and waited for him to just keep building.
Yep. The way you had yours was weird, man. Like you had the half pancake stack, but then you had like, I don't know, like you put two standing up, right? Then one on top, but then your next two were like wider, and I was like, how the hell is that even standing? Like
they kind of got closer and then further,
further and closer. I'm like,
asymmetrical tower I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, I don't know how that stood.
All right, cool. So Diddy kicks our asses.
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta call him out for this. So remember when he won the 3D display, and we're in the house, and he's like 3D display. And then he goes, wait, what's the 3D display? And we're like, oh my God.
And you know what I was a little bugged about in the episode, right after Sky Diddy wins, he is like gone from the loft for like a good 2 hours.
Oh, yeah. We're like, dude, where you been at, man?
I'm guessing he was hanging out with Dylan Job playing a little Starhawk or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird that they didn't show it, though, you know?
Yeah. So, the argument afterwards, the whole conflict afterwards, man. The first thing I want to talk about, just real quick, is we were, and I think it's like really twisted with the editing. We weren't talking about Sky like the whole time. Like we were just basically like going over what happened in the challenge in general and how each of us did. you know, the way they made it seem, it was like, oh, we were just, you know, talking about what she did wrong and
Piling it on, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, here she comes, and we're like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I just think it's really up that you said I'm annoying when I don't even talk to anybody. I come to my bed and sleep. You are the ones who come over here and start talking to me. Like,
because you by yourself. We want you to kick it with us.
So seeing that, did you, I mean, what were your, like, the whole, you know, your alliance, like, was that the point where it was just like, you know what, I don't want to even deal with this. This is not what I want to bring, like.
Right after Quaja went home, and that hit me pretty hard, I realized, you know, should Quaja be here instead of Suskaiden? I mean, I think the thing that really bothered me, too, from her performance that day, and they didn't, I tried to make that argument, and then Dylan Joe just told me to, like, no, you can't talk anymore. It was right before they had to deliberate. I was going to mention, you know, I think the last question that Meredith asked, only Suskaiden got right. And she had an opportunity to actually surpass, you know, maybe, yeah, she could have totally done that. But she chose, she did nothing with her last 20 seconds. And I was going to raise the question, well, if you're in a development house, if you're at Santa Monica Studios, you know, are you going to, you know, when it's about to be gold copy, the game's about to, you know, be finished, are you just going to kind of sit around and not do anything? You know, a lot of people criticize this show for stuff like that. Like, how do these challenges really depict how somebody's going to perform in the job? They actually show a lot about personality, about how much of a douche someone is, if they say man-lob to their potential boss. In Suskaiden's case, if it's you don't finish the job, that you know, if you can make a game that much better at the finish, or you just decide to not, you know.
Chill.
That's what I was going to say. And, yeah, I was going to try to put the nail in the coffin, but apparently it was already in there.
It was pretty evident that, you know, this whole challenge was pretty much, you know, designed to single one person out. You know, and you know, it might not have even been Suskaiden, you know, targeted in the beginning, just at least one of us. You know, just to see who we thought was the weakest link, and it just happened to be Suskaiden. I mean, there's no, you know, like I said, there's no disrespect, there's no personal, like, hard feelings, there's none of that stuff, man, because, you know, I think up to this point, you know, myself, you know, Diddy and Christy, we've shown nothing but respect. You know, granted, you know, there are hiccups here and there, but, you know, there's been nothing fucking malicious, so.
Yeah. I got a question, though. Do you think okay, so, like, well, obviously if Suskaiden didn't, if she had the tallest tower, she'd have won, and then, you know, she would have not been up for elimination. But if she had the, like, second tallest tower, if she and I had replaced towers, do you think she still would have gone home?
I don't think so. I think that, honestly, they probably would have went after me a little more, or Christy.
They would never. There's no way. I don't think they would have ever sent you home. I think if honestly,
but at the same, like, they glossed me over. They actually, like, you know, Brent, like, said one thing to me, and I mean, because granted, it was my first, like, really, like, hiccup. So
yeah.
But I think they would have, you know, gave me a little more grief about it. Yeah. But they would have really went after Christy. Because, like, you know, that's when we went into elimination. Yeah, you know, I was worried, you know, because it was my first loss or whatever. But I was really worried for Christy. I was like, damn, man, like, it's either one of those two. It's either Christy or Suskaiden.
Yeah, I remember sitting in elimination, thinking that it was really close between those two. But yeah. I think we all kind of knew it had to be Suskaiden, and I think it was definitely unanimous among the cast. And I think the panel too. They just wanted to make it look like it was a close one. Yeah. Everybody loves Christy, you know. I don't think she wasn't. She was fine, you know.
So all right, so this episode 7 coming up, man. It was a fun one. It was a fun one.
Yeah, that was probably the most fun I've ever had on the tester. That was that day, the four of us. Because I felt like with the four of us doing that next challenge, that's how it was meant to be, especially with a challenge like that. And I'm sure some of the people who are probably going to be watching this right now saw that clip of like the deleted scenes that they totally should not have leaked.
They totally should put out.
We just had fun that day. That shit was so fun. That was a really good day.
Like high school all over again.
Get in the locker.
Yeah.
Did he? If you can get in there.
If I can get in there.
If you get in there.
If I get in this motherfucker, anybody can get in here.
All right, peer pressure now. I gotta join in.
Damn, dude, if you would have got in there, dude, you would have been like, what the f? Where is the cast?
It wasn't stressful. There was no beef. And even though, you know, I mean, dude, me and you were just battling.
We went to war
on those video game questions, man. That shit was crazy. Yeah. So.
And you know what? I'm very happy about the deleted, because more often than not, if not 100% of the time, what they show in deleted scenes never makes it into the final cut. So the John Marston thing isn't going to be in there.
What game featured ex-outlaw John Marston? Okay, Reality Pales?
Answer is John Marston.
No, that is incorrect. Oh. You have to listen to the entire question, maybe before buzzing in.
You know what I was pissed off that they didn't get when I broke the target.
Your target, yeah.
I thought for sure they'd get that shit, man.
I'm really hoping that it's somehow cleverly edited into the official 30 minutes. That would be pretty funny.
You guys are watching this shit. Put it in there. Enjoy that shit.
Maybe I'll get some sympathy votes when I fell into the frickin' pool without getting hit. That sucked, dude. Yeah. And then Meredith was like, "Oh, it doesn't count."
All right, Reality Pals, climb on in. You have 2 lives left.
Soon to be 1.
You never know.
That totally counts.
Hey, that was like ESP.
Sorry, Reality Pals, that doesn't count.
But cool, man. Thanks for, doing this with me, man.
Anytime, dude.
I'm pretty sure people, appreciate it. And I just wanted to kind of, get, just to share my point of view and your, from inside the alliance, from that point of view, man. I think, hopefully it cleared a lot of the miscommunication and the confusion up, so.
Yeah.
Most definitely, brother.
Yeah, that's true.
So until next week, Akilleez signing off.
Man law!
Yeah. Man law.